Very similar.
Very similar, but what would probably make a difference is the height. 5'11" for De La Hoya and 5'8" for Dezi Ford.
Okay, so we are set to go, and let's get our intros right now.
This is a 132-pound division bout. Our referee from Utica, New York, Tony Filippelli. In the red corner, representing the South, from East Los Angeles, California, Oscar De La Hoya. In the blue corner, representing the West, from Alliance, Ohio, Dezi Ford.
All right, we are set to go here for round one. The only thing that isn't surprising so far about the boxing is that Oscar De La Hoya got a big cheer when he was announced. That much we expected. Into round one for what, as Ray said, should be good if for no other reason than the fact that De La Hoya has never fought Ford before, and Ford has come on strongly in recent times, winning the Golden Gloves Championship this year. And he's a young man to be reckoned with. De La Hoya, a guy that, not to overhype it, but they think most of the people that he's got the whole package, an 18-year-old who's already twice won the U.S. Amateur Championships. Not to overwork a theme, oh, excuse me, Ray, not to overwork a theme, but when the amateur officials and the powers that be get a feeling that a guy is a real comer, does that help him in the way he progresses?
That's true, because when a guy has a certain style, certain makeup that they know will be very effective against the Eastern Bloc countries, 9 times out of 10, that guy will remain. It's tough to beat him because he has a style to beat the other guys.
A classic example of that in your days, not only you, but even more so than you, probably Howard Davis.
Well, Howard Davis had the perfect style because he had lateral movement, good hand speed. In fact, here in Dezi Ford, Ford has the style also.
Is that a point deduction?
No, that was a warning for them to mix it up more.
Okay, it looked like it might have been a point. It was a caution for mixing it up. But I thought maybe we had a point already deducted. Not that it would be a first here, believe me. We've got plenty of those. Round one, it is scheduled for 3, of course, as they all are. In the lightweight division, 132-pounders, Oscar De La Hoya in the green. He's the local lad from Los Angeles, and Dezi Ford from Alliance, Ohio. And no, Barry, I will not make any Lucy and Dezi jokes, okay? He probably expected me to.
If you look at De La Hoya, he has the style of a professional fighter. Very economical. He's taking his time. He's picking his shots. Whereas at Dezi Ford, he's utilizing the ring. A lot of movement.
And De La Hoya landed a good left hook a moment ago. The warning from the caution from the referee for the lack of action was more, I think, directed at Dezi Ford. Referee is Tony Filippelli, an experienced amateur referee, as they all are here at this competition. De La Hoya using that height advantage. You hit on it earlier in the reach as well.
Well, and also Dezi Ford is trying to get cute here, put those hands down, and with a guy with the power of De La Hoya, that's not really the smart thing to do here.
Now, one thing Dezi Ford has been able to do is land that left hook as De La Hoya is pulling away. See if he can continue to do it. There it is again. Caution to Ford about getting his head too low. That cost Sergio Reyes earlier on today as he was disqualified against Sean Fletcher. Twice he was cautioned about that, warned about it, and had a point taken away. Good first round for Oscar De La Hoya. That, of course, was a slip, not a knockdown. And we sneak into Oscar De La Hoya's corner.
Give me the water. Okay. ¿Está todo bien? Okay. Está esperando mucho, ¿ok? No quiero que se espere, vaya por ella.
Double the jab, step over, shoot the right hand. All right. Now work 3s, 4s, and 5s this time. You got it? Okay. That's your round, ladies and gentlemen. All you got to do is just stay on top of it. Be more quicker with your hands inside.
All right.
You're getting a little anxious with your feet. That's why you fell, yeah? You got it? Come on, suck it up deep. Pull in deep. You got it? Busy, real busy this time. Show him what boxing.
Take a look at where there was a slip called on Dezi Ford. Wasn't called, he just slipped. Yep. Not a knockdown, certainly no punches landed. We head into round 2. Oscar De La Hoya in the green, Dezi Ford in the red. Ford, the 22-year-old, De La Hoya from Los Angeles. He is 18 years old. The winner of the United States Championships is De La Hoya, and the National Golden Gloves champ is Dezi Ford. Al Bernstein along with Sugar Ray Leonard, hoping you're enjoying the beginning of our, not only our boxing coverage, but all of our Olympic Festival coverage. Right hand sends him down, and it is a knockdown. Dezi Ford sent down by a big right hand by De La Hoya. Now remember, in amateur competition, they say a knockdown counts only for one punch.
De La Hoya's showing what he's made of. Two-time national champion. He's beaten Eastern Bloc countries. He's beaten the Cuban fighters. He's showing what he's made of.
Well, he's a very powerful puncher. And you can see that when he connects, he does damage. Dezi Ford, who is a good boxer and has been boxing pretty well, but sometimes you can only stay away so long from that power.
If we get a shot here, you notice the way Ford moves, his stance so spread apart. That's why a lot of times he's able to go down.
Balance problem. You know.
Balance. Plus he's moving, so he's so anxious now. He needs to slow it down a little bit more.
Near the halfway point here in the second round, a round in which we've seen Dezi Ford go down from the power of De La Hoya. Good jab by Ford.
Look at the combinations by Oscar De La Hoya. Great punch.
What a hook by De La Hoya. You can tell he's only 18 because there are moves he's still working on, but certainly a polished boxer at this point. Caution to De La Hoya for holding the back of the head. So far, this youngster from LA has been all that he was cracked up to be in his first Olympic Festival appearance, as is the case with Ford. Both men are performing well, but De La Hoya has just had too much power. Dezi Ford landing some here and there as we have a half minute left in the round, but not able to land with the effectiveness of De La Hoya. Big right by De La Hoya. So here in round 2, Oscar De La Hoya scores a knockdown, and more important even than that, lands a whole bunch of punches against Dezi Ford. We'll see if it can continue as we head into the third. Third round underway here, a minute gone, and Oscar De La Hoya in the green is ripping Dezi Ford with some terrific left hooks and right hands. He had Ford down in the second. Boy, a series of low blows by Ford that I'm surprised referee Filippelli didn't warn him for that or caution him. The power of De La Hoya, Ray, is impressive.
Well, you can see the strength that's being zapped out of Dezi Ford.
And I'll tell you, I'm not sure De La Hoya yet, as we're halfway through the round, gets as much leverage into that left hook as he will as he gets more experience.
And older, more mature, because like now, he's turned his body the proper way. He backs off to examine his work.
Yeah.
And then goes back on the attack.
A very poised performer. And De La Hoya continues that body work, which has been impressive. Dezi Ford who, as we said, is the National Golden Gloves champion, is one of the better 132-pounders in the United States, but he has run up against a young man who is just what people say he is, real good.
Now, I'll be curious to see whether or not De La Hoya works out with professional fighters, because he has that kind of poise.
Sometimes that does it, doesn't it? When you're an amateur and you work out with some of the pros, you pick up some of the better aspects.
The better aspects. Because sometimes it's bad because you have a tendency to wait, which you really can't. You only have 3 rounds.
That's true. But in his case, he is careful not to be. He is economical with his punches, but not so economical that he doesn't punch a lot. Well, round 3 is winding to a close. None too soon for Dezi Ford. Really frustration on his part as he looked into his corner like, boy, I just can't figure this guy out. I can't stop those punches from raining on me. And Oscar De La Hoya starts out his Olympic festival with a bang. Terrific performance for that young man, and barring some bizarre turn of events, he would likely be the winner and move on to the final round in the 132-pound division. And Barry, guess what? Oscar De La Hoya is a good one. Take it away.
Yeah, I want to tell you he's a good one. As a matter of fact, we opened this program by saying, I really believe there are 2 guys who we're going to be watching today who have the potential to be champions as a professional, and Oscar De La Hoya is one. Very impressive.
And that's a name that needs a title, don't you think? Very regal sounding, De La Hoya. What patience he shows down there, but you were saying earlier that patience doesn't always cut it in amateur style boxing.
No, you really have to be active and throw a lot of punches, and it isn't always the big banger like De La Hoya is, who wins amateur fights. I do believe he probably did enough to win this fight, although stranger things have happened. We've seen some very bizarre decisions. We, of course, will have the decision in this fight, but right now I think we really saw 2 very good amateur fighters, and I think De La Hoya at 18 years of age really showing himself to be something, and a guy that you can really look forward to having some very fine moments, both as an amateur and as a professional. We'll have the decision after this. For De La Hoya, and
Experienced and good amateur. So let's go up and get the decision.
in this 132-pound division bout, the judge's decision, the winner on points, 37-6. In the red corner, Oscar De La Hoya.
His dad is happy, as are many of his partisans.
Well, people around the sport of boxing these days are singing the praises of an 18-year-old from East Los Angeles by the name of Oscar De La Hoya. He doesn't remember the last time he lost. Here's the story from Adrian Karsten.
Sunrise. Time of the day when most of the world is just waking up. Time of the day when one 17-year-old high school senior has already been training for 2 hours in a world of his own. In just another hour, Oscar De La Hoya must be ready to go to school. In just another year, he must be ready to take on the world. He's currently America's best hope for a boxing medal at the '92 Olympic Games in Spain.
There's not too many 17-year-olds who wake up at 4:30 in the morning and don't go out on weekends. Instead of going out, they train, or after school, they go to the gym. I mean, there's not too many.
The serenity of the sunrise can't disguise the sometimes violent reality of Oscar's neighborhood in East LA. 1 week before we met him, Oscar was held up at gunpoint by one of the area's most feared gangs. But Oscar's not afraid to fight back. In fact, he's ready to wage war single-handedly. He wants to beat the bad reputation and perception people have of East LA, not necessarily with his fists, but with perhaps a much more effective weapon, a dream.
The description of the dream is for an East LA youngster to make it to the Olympics. And I would say I'm going to do it for all the public. Too many people criticize East LA as being too violent, and I think I could change all that with my appearance and me winning the gold medal.
This dream of Oscar's has his opponents staying awake at night. But his family never lost any sleep over Oscar's ambitions in an amateur career that started at age 6.
He asked me a few times, "Papi, I want to box." And sometimes he was wearing gloves, and the gloves up to here, you know, big gloves. I say, "Oscar, what you doing?" He said, "I want to box." Okay, just go hit the bag.
Oscar De La Hoya has rung up an amateur record of 196-4. He hasn't lost a fight in the last 4 years. Well, the trainers down here at the Resurrection Gym say Oscar may actually have to lose a few to get better. Just so happens that right now, Oscar is dealing with the biggest loss of his life. In early November, before she could share in the most important part of her son's life, Oscar's mother lost her own life to cancer.
She told my boy, "Don't stop. If you wanna win a medal, you know, try harder and do it for everybody, not just for me."
Those words that she said it really hit me hard. And I mean, I thought about it that, I mean, I'm gonna do it for her. And her saying those words, I mean, nothing's gonna stop me from winning that gold medal. Whatever it takes, I'm gonna do it.
It's been his dream since he was 6 years old. And Oscar believes that his mother still shares in the dream of her little boy. She won't be there to get him up early in the morning. Now, Oscar has to do that by himself. But at that time of day, when Oscar's in that world of his own, perhaps he won't be all alone.
Great story. Thanks, Adrian. Incidentally, there was a post-mortem to all of that. East Los Angeles, where Oscar grew up, or is still growing up, a very tough neighborhood. But he also found out, when he was held up at gunpoint, as Adrian mentioned, that there's also a respect in the hood.
Oh, a humongous respect for this guy in tough East L.A. Not too long after he was held up, they returned his wallet. They must have taken a look at the ID card. They returned the wallet intact with $150 in it. They didn't return the camera, though, but...
Well, what's in a picture?
I can't ask for everything.
But that is a real respect. Oscar De La Hoya, and I'll tell you what, he is as good as you're going to see in amateur boxing. Adrian Carson mentioned it. He may be our best hope for a medal, but there should be a whole lot of medals. Let's watch him now with Al and Ray.